All right. Okay, well, welcome to all of you. I think Jason, isn't Jason generally on?
Yeah, he usually jumps on.
Okay, let's see, April J. Okay. I'm not signed, so I don't have everything as organized structurally, but I got a brain that's all wired up. I just met with a guy that's a friend of a friend, and all we did was spend time talking about team building. So I was all hyped up for this call. So can you guys all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Okay, good. Because I was hearing a little bit of an echo, but I want to make sure you guys aren't hearing an echo.
Rick,
Is that Will?
dude, I gotta share, man. That one conversation we had
Yeah.
literally changed everything. But before I talked to Rick, I had not started my team because I was super overwhelmed with the structure of everything. And he literally broke it down to me and I implemented, and I'd love to share at some point if there's time.
Yes, I'd like you to start right now. So for those of you who don't know Mr. Will Higgins, he's in Chino Hills, California, Southern California, and he's a rock star recruiter, a rock star real estate agent, built a lot of his business through social media and just by going to his gym, believe it or not. So, who's sharing the screen? Is that you, Will?
That's me. Yep, that's
Okay,
me.
good. Share away.
So again, I had no business. Well, I had my own business, but I'm trying to exit production, and I needed to build a team, but I was just so like in my head about the team because it was I have to provide all the leads, and everybody's going to be coming to me. Just how do I structure this thing? And I had a call with Rick, and then a few follow-up calls with Selena. And essentially, what they gave me was the structure for how to build my team. So I started bringing on agents, and I have one lead agent that just kind of runs everything. But then for the leads, I adopted the four pillars of leads. So it's not just me. And again, we started with nothing, but now literally our everything's filling up. So we have 3 million in hot leads right now.
What are you doing, Celine?
Uh-oh. Who is that? Who is that?
Never mind. I got it. Go ahead. I muted.
We have 3 million with the lender right now.
Yeah.
We're showing almost 3 million, and we have 3.5 million pending.
Wow. That's
And
amazing.
I'm only spending 4.5 hours with the team. So we do a 30-minute pipeline review on Mondays. We do an hour team meeting, and then I do a 30-minute coaching call with everybody, and then I have everybody meet with their pod leader once a week.
Amazing. So describe what you call a pod leader.
So the pod leader is like Rick told me he has a lead agent. So the lead agent is on the lead agent basically gets a percentage of the other agents. They get 10% of their production. So it's their job to really manage them. So you're just adding a layer between you and the other agents.
You are absolutely right. So, and I don't want to cut you off, but I do want to comment on some of that. Can I go for a sec?
Oh, yes, it's your show, man.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm happy to have you on it. So so I had this talk with this guy. He runs a huge team here in Oakland, Pleasant Hill, California, not far from Oakland, for those of you who don't know. And he is an active recruit of somebody in my organization. And so because the person who's recruiting him is in San Diego and I'm here and he's in my backyard, I've invited him to stuff. This guy's 27 years old, and every bit of his business is coming from Instagram and TikTok. Every single bit of his business. He's a genius. And yet he is so down on himself for not feeling like he's a leader. And I think first, that's what I want to talk about today is if you're going to take your real estate sales business, oh my God, a mini Will, that guy is going to have women all over him one day. It's crazy. Anyway. So what I meant by that is this, that if we're going to build a sales team, and it's been like since the market shifted, all of the people that were out there saying recruit, recruit, recruit are saying, oh, don't forget about production. Well, there's a lot of us who never did forget about production. We're always involved in production. And maybe we didn't recruit as much, but we were really busy on, I want to sell more houses and I want to leverage myself so I can sell more houses with less hours worked. This 27-year-old kid I met with today is still showing buyers and he has 7 buyer's agents. I'm like, dude, excuse me, we had to talk about that. I said, let's talk about why you're showing those buyers and how can we hand them off. I actually had the exact same talk with him that Gary Keller had with me in 2001, 22 years ago this month, February. It was actually 21 years ago. It was February of 2002. So 21 years ago this month that I had a talk with Gary Keller that changed the trajectory of my sales team. I already had a team. I already had buyer's agents, but I was still taking buyers myself. And this guy I talked to today said, I really want to just be doing listings. And I said, absolutely, you could already be there. I don't know why you're not. Let's talk about it. So there's a lot to do with the mindset of building a team, because you might say, oh, I'm not building a team. I just need to sell a few houses. Well, guess what? If you do the consistent activities, you'll start selling houses, then you'll be busier than you can handle on your own and still have a life. That's where a team comes from, period. And I know some of this is repeat and maybe some of it's a little bit more elementary for some of you who are already building a team, but we got to go back to that one thing. He kept during our breakfast this morning saying, I'm not a leader, or I'm not acting like a leader. And I said, stop. A leader, the term leader, the term influencer means that you somehow are affecting the decisions and actions of someone else, period. That's it. Now get this, he's not even with our company and he's got 20, he said over 20 people have come to him, and because he felt bad that he doesn't have anything to lead them with, he sent them to other people. 20 people. So talk about a mindset shift. I told him, you're never going to say no to anybody again. I said, what did they say to you? We've seen you on Instagram. We've seen you on TikTok. We want to be just like you. We want to work with you. I said, that's all you need. You have what they're looking for. You're in your mind are saying they need more, but you don't know what they need because you didn't ask them. And it's the same with all of us. Remember, we have all of us here are EXP. So we have a certain level of standard that we want for somebody to take our buyer out. You're taking my buyer out? Dude, you better be performing at this level if you're taking my buyer. But if I just want to recruit you to EXP, then maybe I don't need you to have that level of a standard, right? In other words, I don't need to, I can support you, I can plug you into things, but I don't need you to act the same way my buyer's agent's going to act with someone else, right? So there's a lot to be said about that. More importantly is this. If you are building a sales team and you are not having regular weekly communication, at Workman Success Systems, we highly, highly recommend a daily huddle. Now, I just want to stop right there. Liliana, Michelle Russell, there's a lot of people that are on here all the time. And I think Bernadette and Bruce, has Selena mentioned or talked about, because I know I've been on and off these calls, daily huddles. Have we talked about that at all?
Michelle, can you mute?
Oh, it was Michelle making noise. I can mute her.
Oh, no, I was muted. No,
Sorry, Michelle, unmute again. I interrupted you.
Yeah, so she has covered daily huddles. I actually implemented them into my team structure. I don't do them daily. I do them weekly. I wasn't doing them at all. But they have completely transitioned the accountability within my team. And now we've kind of set the bar on like what the expectation is every week, what you need to be doing. And we're setting goals every week and addressing them on a weekly basis. They do take, I mean, I know that Selena had mentioned that they should only take about 30 to an hour. But my team is a little bit bigger and it takes so long. It's like,
Wait a minute. So if you're doing, here's the thing, Liliana, good point. And Michelle, take yourself off mute because you were starting to say something and I got you cut off. Is that if you're doing a daily huddle and you're keeping it to 30 minutes, no matter how big it is, what are you doing to keep it to 30 minutes? Just wins? Wins. That's first thing we start with. Give me
Okay.
some wins. And the wins don't have to be real estate related. They could be, I didn't eat any bread yesterday, or I did my push-ups, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's wins. And then what are you working on? How can I support you? Like those kinds of things. And then if there's a certain amount of accountability, you can even pull up, like the way Will pulled up that sheet. I'm not capable of pulling that up yet. Selena would be able to, but pulling that up and say, you notice when he pulled it up, it had names, it had transactions, it had all that. And you can say, let's go through this. Hey, Mary, you got this deal going. How's that going? Hey, Mary, you're working with this buyer. How's that going? And boom, 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 boom. And everybody gets off inspired. Remember, you've always got to have some wins. On your weekly meeting, now let me tell you how I do it, even though Viral Workman would be very upset. Viral likes you to have a Monday through Friday, every single day, daily huddle, 15 to 30 minutes long, because it's really just boom, boom, boom. And once a week, a full team meeting. Well, what I do is I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and twice a month, I do a full team meeting. And that's where we might have a guest speaker of a lender. We're also on those calls. Remember, guys, look at this one. We're gonna fill the emotional cup of someone else. That's got to be one of your agenda items, right? So we've got a transaction coordinator, we got a listing coordinator, we've got a virtual assistant, we've got Selena. So we allow everybody time to say, I want to just fill up Selena's emotional cup and thank her for supporting me in this one
You
project.
need to be quiet.
That was
You want to
great.
make me a host, a co-host, and I'll mute people when they
Okay.
come in.
Let's see where. So as you guys look at that, at those different things that you're going to be doing, a lot of you are saying, well, wait, it's just me right now, right? It's just me. I don't have a team. Well, guess what? Having a team comes out of necessity, and all of you are in a position, every one of you, even if you're doing practically no deals right now, to take one deal and turn it into more, right? Work the deal, work the neighborhood the deal was in, whatever you're going to do. If you're not doing circle prospecting, like, in other words, that would be a mandatory for me. Like I tell my buyer's agents, once you close that deal, you circle prospect that neighborhood, meaning go door knocking on 100 doors right around that closing and say, I just brought you a new neighbor. I just brought you a new neighbor. Okay. You know, whatever the thing is, or if somebody just listed, it didn't even have to be your listing. It doesn't even have to be the same company. Somebody lists a house not too far from where you live, go door knocking. Say, hey, I don't know if you realize there's a brand new listing in our neighborhood. You don't have to mention who listed it or what the person's name was. You're bringing that information to them. All right. There's a lot that we could be doing. And I've got to tell you, I'm more wired today than I've been in months, because my word of the year, my word for this year, I've told you guys before, is prioritize. And man, I'm prioritizing like a mofo right now. Like I know what I've got to work on in every spare minute. And because I'm not in Pacific Grove with my wife, where the scenery is beautiful, we walk the dog 3 hours a day, I am so much more focused. I'm working literally 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, getting my workout in, watching my diet. I'm doing everything. And it's caused me such a higher level of energy. I fit my clothes better. I feel better. And I'm doing more things to promote my retirement. And all of you need to be thinking about that no matter how young you are. Even if you're as young as Liliana, who might possibly be the youngest one on here, but I don't know the ages of everybody on here. But
Thanks.
yeah. So, okay, Michelle, are you going to come off mute and share with me what you were going to share before? You still mad at me for accidentally remuting you?
I'm not mad at you. I could never be mad at you.
Okay.
No, I was not on the call when they talked about huddles. I know that it's a thing. I'm dealing with a new agent, Michael. And so I think the huddle would be super important, because I'm finding that he checks in and I check in with him personally daily, and Brooke. Those are my only two. Well, I have Sarah, but she's not full swing yet.
And he says he's doing this and he's doing that. And then we get into KV Core and I realize he hasn't set up anything. He doesn't know how to do it. He hasn't done, he said he's watching the video. So I need to get a grip on everything.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, and
spinning out.
Yeah. Okay, and it's okay, but here's the thing, growth is growth. There's always going to be discomfort in growth, right? Look, there's discomfort in realizing you have no transactions in the pipeline. That's totally uncomfortable for each of us. Like right now, I'm struggling trying to get new listings. Okay, and yet I run a big team, and they're all looking at me, going, what kind of listings you got coming up? Nothing.
Mhm.
Right? So there's that struggle. Everybody's got a struggle, and that does not make you less of a leader because you're struggling. In fact, get this, remember this one saying, everyone struggles, suffering is optional. You can struggle and not suffer. I'm struggling getting listings. I'm certainly not suffering. I'm in a good mood. I'm finding happiness in my day. I'm taking good care of myself. And yet I'm focused on the activities that come. I split my day, most of you know, two things, finding listings and recruiting people. That's how my whole 2 days are split up. Those are the only two things I'm doing in a day, laser focused. All right, so I gotta ask you, go ahead.
No, this is the same conversation I had with Selena, because I told Selena, I said, look, I said, Selena, how can I expect these people to do it when I don't have anything? I feel like an imposter. And she says, no, she says, not at all. She said, you've proven time and time that you can do it and you're a leader. So you just need to keep doing what you're doing and follow this model and everything will work out.
Yes, and guess what, Will, and everybody else on here? People don't even have to see you or hear you. Energy is such a big thing in the universe. We don't even get how big it is. But when you are going mad, like I'm going mad right now, my calendar is freaking booked every minute. Energetically, the people that want to follow you and call you a leader are sensing that energy and going, oh man, he must be busting butt right now. It doesn't matter that I'm not getting the results. I'm doing the activities, and the energy of doing the activities is what's going to bring more results, that energy. All right. I did my free Friday coaching call last week on taking more listings. I don't know if any of you guys heard it, but it's recorded. It's on my YouTube channel. So I was on freaking fire. I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back, but I had 4 text messages. I never get this. 4 text messages from people watching the call going, what the freak did you have for breakfast this morning? It's not, it's the energy of productivity. Gary Keller used to call that business energy. When you're lead generating, you have a higher level of business energy. He said, when you're in a good relationships, you have a higher level of emotional energy, right? So that's the main thing that you want to remember is everybody's got shit happening in their life. Every single one of us, me, you don't even know the stuff I have, and nor would I share it with you. But what I'm saying is you have it, I have it, injuries, accidents, emotional upsets, deaths of relatives, illness. I got into a fender bender, you name it, it's happening to everybody at the same time. And Bernadette, you and your son are in my prayers. But the main thing that I want you guys to get is that doesn't change the fact that we must make an income, we must pay our bills, we've got things to do, places to go, people to see. So I'm going to stop right there for a minute. Thoughts, comments, questions?
Hey, one thing, Rick, one thing I want to get out of this call, I think a missing piece I have is I'd like to know, what do you celebrate? Like what things do you guys celebrate, and what are some recognition points on the team?
Okay, so we got a guy on our team. That's a really good question. And I don't see anybody from my team on here, but Michelle knows a lot of people on my team because she's in the area. Joanne does too. But we got a guy on our team that's 72 years old. Okay, Will, and he is a freaking master at KV Core. Just super techie. I don't know how he's that way. I'm only 65 and I don't get KV Core. Somebody else has to take care of it. So Selena can go in and look. He's a team member, so she can go in and look at what's going on in his KV Core. And he's got his entire database on there. He's got his network. He's got all of his leads, and he's dripping on them. He's sending out campaigns and everything. He comes to the call the other day, and we said, what are some of the wins? And he kept saying this. His name's Larry Walker. I think, didn't I refer Larry Walker to you at some point?
Mm-hmm.
Or you? Yeah.
Yes, I know.
And he says, I don't know, Rick. I'm feeling like a baller. It's coming out of nowhere. There's like all this stuff coming out of nowhere. I got this buyer, and my friend in this area wants to sell, and then he's going to buy here. you know, and up here, guys, it's very not usual for someone to sell and then also buy in the similar area. Most of the people selling in Northern California are leaving Northern California. But he got one of his clients, you know, one of his friends from church wants to sell in one area and buy in another that he cut, you know, we cover both those areas. And Selena and I were laughing, and he goes, "What are you guys laughing at?" He goes, I said, "We're laughing at the fact that you keep saying it's coming out of nowhere." When I said, since you've been with this team, you have been dripping on people and dripping on, it's not coming out of nowhere. It's coming out of a result of all of the activities you did. And that's what we had to celebrate, Will. We got to celebrate the doing of the activities, the follow-up, the nurturing, just using KV Core. And yeah, magically, maybe he never did talk to him, but he was dripping the heck on him, right? So we like to celebrate every single win. Like, you know, Tom is 67 years old. I know we're not supposed to talk about that, but my team is mostly older people. And he came to the call. We always say, turn your camera on. He had his robe on and his hair was in all kinds of directions because he hadn't been up that long, and had his cup of coffee in his hand. And then his wife brought the dog into the Zoom, you know, and like we celebrated that he's living the life he dreamed of living in his retirement, right? Because he retired from title after 35 years and went into real estate. So there's lots to celebrate. There's always something to find, celebrate, change the perspective about what you allow to be celebrated, and make everything celebratable, right? So, and you guys have all heard the word, but you probably don't live by it. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. I'm sure you've all heard that. If you haven't heard that, put that in your head. Where are you celebrated? If your team members don't celebrate you as their leader, you got the wrong team members. It's okay to upgrade. Gary Keller used to call that top grading. I got great talent, but I'm always looking for even better talent, right? It's okay to top grade. What do I want? I want more people that make me look like I don't know what I'm doing. That's the kind of people I want. But our egos don't tell us that. But that's the one thing I learned from Gary that I say all the time: find somebody who'll do your job better than you. And it's tough for your ego to say that. I mean, what do you mean? I'm the best. I've been doing this for, you know, it doesn't matter. Find somebody who'll do the job better than you.
Yeah.
Okay. Today, Silvano, the guy I was talking to, said he has 7 buyer's agents. I said, have you decided which one's going to be a lead buyer specialist? And he said, what? And he leaned in. I taught him the lesson about lead buyer specialist. He went nuts. He goes, that's exactly what I need right this minute. That'll make me a top listing agent. I'll never show a buyer again. And when I explained it to him, I said, that's somebody on your team, on your current buyer team, and you should never get a lead buyer specialist unless you have 4 or more buyer's agents. Okay. And what's their job? Their job is gatekeeper. All buyer's agents cannot get to you unless they went through that person, whoever that person is. So Cindy on my team, Cindy Cashin, 37 years as an AT&T contract negotiator, retired with an excellent pension, comes to me. We grew up together. Her mom used to be my boss when I was a kid. And she said, I want to be a real estate agent. She comes, she learns the contracts instantly, because what did she do for a living? She did contracts for a living. And it was just her and one other buyer's agent that I'd had long before her. And before you knew it, we were getting on our calls and she was answering questions for the other agents. So by the time we got to 4 buyer's agents, I said, Cindy, how'd you like to be lead buyer specialist? You're going to get, instead of 50-50 on the leads I give you, you're going to get 55%, and you're going to get 5% from every other agent that comes, that does a deal with us, that you're going to help them write the offer, get it to the, well, over the years, she's been promoted to 10%. Now she gets 10%. And guess what? Buyer's agents don't call me. 9 buyer's agents don't call me. They all call Cindy. She helps them write the offer. She helps them get it presented to the other agent. She takes it through closing with them and gets 10% of the commission. And for that, she gets a bonus on any deals she gets, where she gets a little more commission for that. So even when she's not closing deals, she got some good money coming in. If you got 10% of everything 9 buyer's agents are doing, you got pretty good, right? So that's a really great job to assign, because what does it allow you to do? More time to focus on getting listings. And if you're a team leader, you're moving from, I'm doing buyers, now I'm not doing buyers, I'm only taking listings. And then the next step will be a listing specialist. And we'll talk about that on another call, because that's an entirely different perspective than a buyer's agent. But for now, I want you thinking about, for instance, Will, you're a builder. Liliana, you're a builder, right? You guys are building a revenue share organization. So you say, where's my time best spent? Only 2 places, taking listings. But what about, you look at a guy like Leo, and Jose Samano, how they were partnered up together. Now Jose runs all the real estate side. But what I'm saying is on our individual teams, our next step to freedom is going to be listing specialists. But I'm going to stop right there because I want to pull everybody back in. Remember, it doesn't matter what level you are. You could be on this call and be struggling for your next transaction, or you could be Will and having a lot going on, or Liliana and having a lot going on. But if you're not willing to put it into a structure where you're saying, I'm going to do these activities until I get to this point in team building, then it doesn't make sense. So nobody needs to be on this call and go, this is above my level. Bull. Okay. And it's certainly not below your level because you need to be being reminded of the real basics as you're doing it. Okay. So I'm going to stop right there. Comments, thoughts, questions, ahas. Any ahas?
I really love the buyer specialist idea. I've been kind of struggling with that. Just jumping on Zoom calls to write offers is annoying.
Liliana, so guys, here's the thing. Everybody on here will send you our contracts. Our contracts have been through attorneys. They've been through Selena. We have buyer's agents contracts, and then we have the lead buyer specialist contracts. And then we even had contracts for a while where our team was allowed to take listings, but on any new upcoming members, everybody's going to get a 35% referral fee on listings. They don't get to go do the listing, right? But if
Lily,
you're-
I'll send it to you right now.
Okay.
You're gonna send it to me?
I'll forward it to you right now.
Yeah, and then if you're a buyer's agent on my team and you bring the team a listing, guess what you get for that besides the referral fee? You get first right at open houses, unless you can't make it, and you get first right at all leads that come in from that listing, unless you must refuse them. And if you do, we put them into the rotation. So that's a big bonus, being able to bring a listing to the team, meaning your friends, family, your sphere of influence, that kind of thing. Does that make sense? We don't give credit. You do not get a referral fee. If I gave you a lead, you know, like a buyer lead, and they ended up having something to sell, you don't get the referral fee. That's still my lead. Does that
Yeah.
make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would
All right.
love that contract too, Rick, if you have a chance.
Okay. Yeah. I'll get it to everybody. Yeah.
My question is to Will, is all of your leads 50-50 no matter where they come from, or do you have separate splits?
No, I'm doing separate splits, but again, also like I battle with something. Let me say this: be careful what you ask a billionaire. So I had the opportunity to connect with Glenn a lot recently, and I did a one-on-one with him, and then he was on one of our calls, and I talked to him about why he created RevShare, and he messed my head up because he said he created RevShare because more than often teams are not profitable. So he created RevShare as an option for you not to have to go down that road of creating a team and still, you know, have leverage and be profitable. You know what I mean? So with that being said, it messed my head up because here I am going down this path of building a team, but then here he is saying, go ahead, Rick.
No, I want you to finish, then I'm going to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but here he is saying that, you know, you don't have to do that. But with that being said, no, so my everything's 50-50 that I give them, and then I have them on 35s because the prices are so high here on 35s for anything that they bring in. But also another hack that I got from Rick was they need to be on my front line, because I'm also compensated through the RevShare model. And if they're on my front line, now I'm unlocking levels and I'm getting, you know, additional income, which makes it more profitable throughout the organization.
I'm happy you brought that up because I have, you know, the team, and lately I've been getting real estate agents that have friends that are joining real estate, and they're, you know, bringing them to my office to join, but they're not builders, and I don't even know if they even really make a career out of this. So I've been putting them under the person that's introduced me fairly enough, but like, what is it really doing for them? Because I feel like, you know, to be honest, they're probably like, oh, I'm just gonna be in real estate for 2 years, and like one of them isn't even selling a house. He's been on my team for almost a year and sold a single house, you know, and he's introduced me to this, maybe 2 other people, but I don't know. So,
And you know, that's something that Rick can touch on too, because that's a conversation we had. You have to have standards. So what Rick and Selena do is they've basically given everybody a 3-month grace period, but after that, the minimum requirement is 1 deal a month. And if you're not meeting that, you're off the team.
oh yeah, we stepped it up. I just redid my contract, so I definitely stepped it up thanks to this class. But I'm saying, as far as recruiting and them introducing them to me into my office. I read it. I'm saying that because I think Jason Francie, I read his team contract, and his team contract read that if they introduced them, that it would go under Jason instead of the agent. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay, you mean if he introduced them to a new agent and he had them name himself?
Yeah, like that Jason would be named sponsor.
Yeah, okay, yeah, even if he was on the call, I'd say that's not how
Yeah.
it's meant to be. I'm not gonna say it's good, bad, right, or wrong. I'm just saying that's not how the system was designed. Someone like Jason, who's powerful and well-known in his neighborhood, he could help them build an organization and he benefits from it also.
Got it.
He may have a rule that if they're gonna be on the team, they have to name him, and that's fine. He can make up that rule any way he wants. But let me just say what I was dying to say when Will was talking, and Liliana, this will apply to you guys. Look, forget real estate company that we're with for a minute and forget rev share for a minute. Let's
Okay.
say my team is at KW or at Remax or whatever. What I want you guys to remember is this: profitability is king and cash flow does not equal profitability. You've heard me say that before. I've met people here at EXP in my own organization that have splits like 70-30, where the agent gets 70 and the team gets 30. And I say to the team leader, that's not profitable. They go, oh, I got all kinds of cash coming in on that. Sure you do, because you got a high average sale price. Okay, but if you start really looking down at cost allocation for everything the team leader pays for in the way of value, you'll find out truly that's in a lot of cases you're not profitable. Here's the thing. We have a lead system that we pay a guy named Clayton. Some of you guys might have heard of him, but we have Clayton's leads. We're about to implement an ISA program where all those leads are getting called by the lender. And in this case, we're going to use a success lending lender to help support EXP, right? And an ISA, not my agents on my team anymore. Why? Because the ISA is going to learn to vet that lead, and then we're going to turn it over to the agent. It'll have a 60 to 70% higher chance of closing. What are we doing? You're not getting 50-50 on those. You're going to get 40, teams keeping 60 to help offset the additional cost, because you were okay when we were getting these kinds of leads before and we were paying a 25% referral fee off the top and then we split it. You get it? So you're going to get 40, I'm going to get 60. I'll pay all my costs out of my share, including Cindy's 10% for running the buyer deal on it. And I'll still be a profitable entity. So that's vital. And yes, do I get rev share? That's a bonus on my profitability. And while I love what Glenn said, I will tell you, I want my team to be able to be profitable no matter where I place it. And I want the rev share to be my bonus. Does that make sense to everybody? Just my way of thinking doesn't mean you have to, but I don't want my only profitability. But yes, as Will said, I'm paying attention because guess what? I might also incorporate that some of the people like Joanne's in my front line, she's going to start getting the benefit as a front line. Kelly West is on my front line. They're going to benefit by getting leads through this program, and they'll just pay us a referral fee, right? Because they don't need my transaction coordinator and all that. They're fine agents on their own. They know how to do the business, but they're also going to get those leads and they'll just pay a referral fee, and that's it. But if you're on my team and you're getting them, then you're going to have a little bit of a lower split, but you're going to get all those same team things. Like if I give a lead to Kelly and she gives me a referral fee, she's not going to work with Cindy. She doesn't need Cindy's help. She's been writing offers a lot longer than Cindy. But those are the kinds of things that will happen. So each of you will formulate something. I'm starting to look at it like a much bigger picture now, like having a bigger team, but also not excluding my frontline people that could become FLQAs, so that everybody's benefiting. Because I say, remember, I've shared this, I think I shared this with you, Will, and maybe you, Liliana, because we say the word, don't give them a fish, teach them the fish. And I have a belief that if they taste fish first, they'll be much better fisher people, right? So I like them to taste it a little bit. And what's that going to be? That's a lead once in a while that they got to pay a referral fee on. And we'll teach them how do you get more out of your database? How do you get more out of your top 50? Things like that. Okay. So again, Liliana and Will, the idea is not everybody is right and everybody is wrong as long as it works. It's all good. So
Got it.
Bruce, drug dealer, a fish dealer, yeah.
Cool.
And you're right, Bruce, that's what drug dealers do, right?
All day, every day. You
Yeah.
get your hook on it, and then you got to pay for it.
Yeah. I liked it, so now I pay for it, right? So I saw that on Chicago PD the other day, so. Okay. All right, is somebody, like, I see some people on here that I haven't had on before, so, and you're all being very quiet, so if you want to jump on and say something, this is an opportunity to learn. But it's really important that you know the context from which we're coming, which is we're going to move from being an individual agent and we're going to work hard to bring in leads, and maybe I bring in enough money so maybe I can buy a few leads or pay for a lead program. The guy I met with today, all his leads are coming because he's got great influence. He's got 47,000 followers on TikTok and 11,000 followers on Instagram, and he's 27 years old, and he's getting a ton of leads, right? I even taught him a new way to quote unquote hand off the lead, and he went nuts about it. Because I said, if you're calling them buyer's agents and you're doing handoff, but if every time you have a lead, you say, oh, we'll be working with you, just me and my business partner. Then when you say that, the assumed thing is that you only have one business partner. It's the two of you. They don't know you have 9 of them or 7 of them. And then I do the handoff by doing a Zoom meeting and then do a group text. And the goal is that I'm never responding on the group text. Some of you might not like that. I don't worry about it, because when I see the group text, I hardly ever have to respond because the business partner or buyer's agent is doing the response. Okay. So lots of little ideas that we can get from each other. So, all right. Anything else? Good. Questions, thoughts, comments, ahas? Sherry, anything going on in Tennessee you want to share with us?
Our market's starting to cool. We're catching up with California now, so I'm excited to learn from you guys. And I'm excited to be back with EXP. I'm going to tell you guys, don't ever leave. It's hard to start over again. I got romanced away for a project, and I'll tell you, but starting from ground zero. So I guess they say, you know, when you start over, you get to start more intelligently. Well, here we go.
Welcome.
Yeah, but you're cuter this time than you were last time. So.
I'm older.
All right. Okay, so that was really what my message was today. I do want to remind you all this. I said this to Silvano today: hungry, humble, smart, and coachable. You've all heard me say that. Those are not 2 out of 3. I mean, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4. They have to be 4 out of 4 if they're going to be on your sales team. Please at least have that standard. And the majority of people come to an interview when you say those words, right? If you hear anything like, oh my God, I'm the most coachable person I know. If someone says that, they're not. Okay? Or else they wouldn't have to declare it. You get what I mean? Or if you say I'm the most patient person I know, like that means you're probably not. So think about what hungry, humble, smart, and coachable means to you. You're the team leader. And that's what you're looking for to bring onto your team. Anything short of that, bring them to EXP. Okay? So, and then of course, there's probably some standard at which you won't even bring them to EXP. And I've only met in 6 years of recruiting, there's only 3 people I've met that I would not even offer coming to EXP. 3 in 6 years. So it's not very often that I don't do that. So. Because I think
if they were just smart, they'd keep their mouth shut until they're asked a question in the interview. So all the other 3 don't matter.
Bruce, you're lucky you're married. I might propose. All right.
I have one thing, Rick. So I think this was from Selena. It might have been in our AMP. I don't know. I'm doing so many different things. I ended up getting certified as a mentor because one of the recommendations was to bring them into EXP and mentor them.
Yeah.
And then if they're a good fit for the team, you'll know it. And then you invite them to the team versus just bringing them to the team blindly.
Very good.
Any-
That's a good
Any
point.
thoughts on that?
I like that. I never thought of it exactly that way, that instead of offering them already, but as you see how they act as a mentor, then you can then decide. I love that idea. And Sherry, these are 1st and 3rd Mondays at 11 a.m.
The mentor thing, I'm certified as well, and I'm very picky.
Yeah.
If you don't bring them in, the rev share goes to someone else. They're not in your line or anything. So it's
all you're earning is the 10%.
yeah,
But
on
if you're
whatever deal they have,
right.
unless they come to your team otherwise.
Right, but Bruce, I only say yes, and I'm sure the company would not be happy with this. I have some mentors in my organization that say yes to anybody. I only say yes to mentoring people that are in my first, second, or third line, period. If they're below that, and if they're
Right.
outside the organization, I don't, because I only do that because I can plug them into what I'm already doing, right?
Right.
And I'm doing a lot. And then, of course, I want to make sure that they plug into how many of you are familiar with that Go program from EXP? Apparently, it's really pretty good. You know it, Ed?
I
Yeah.
think it's required of them. They have to do it.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. Ed, do you like it?
Yeah, it's pretty foundational. It's a good thing kind of just build from, and then they do my training after that. And the other
Yeah.
thing I was going to add is you can actually tell the mentorship program that you only want to mentor people that are joining your team or joining your downline.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you
Yeah.
could do that. I just look at them and I know one way or the other. So.
Yeah, they started loading me up and I was like, whoa, I did this for a reason and this is the reason. And they were like, oh yeah, no problem. We'll note that in the file. So that stopped
Gotcha.
happening.
Yeah, and guys, Ed's really quiet, but he owned his own brokerage in Seattle. He's in our group. He's amazing, amazing. And Ed, you need to speak up more, dude.
Well, this is the first time I've been on this particular Zoom, and it was timely because I'm doing a 3-way in 15 minutes with a gal who is going to Keller Williams because they're going to help her build a team. And the guy that's connecting me, I'm like, don't let her pull the trigger on anything till we talk. So I thought I'll plug into Rick and see what nuggets I can drop on her here in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
hey guys, I just dropped. So what I did was I took everything from Rick and I's conversation, and that was building the team. And then I took something from another coaching program. I dropped that in there, and basically they have it literally what you need to do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually. You guys see that?
yeah, I saw that's a great one. I'm keeping that. You guys, if you click on it in the chat and open it up, it'll be on your computer. Could you repost it for anybody that came in a second ago, Will?
It's up there. Just if you scroll up, it's in the
No,
chat.
no, we just had 2 people just come on the meeting just now, so they won't be
Oh,
able to.
gotcha.
see what's in the-
That's awesome.
So-
Well, for sharing.
So Ed, really quick, the biggest thing I found between KW, which is where I ran off to and then back, is really pointing out the difference between rev share and profit share.
Wait, say
And
that
their
again,
team
Gary?
wrapping in- The biggest difference that I found between Keller Williams and EXP when it comes to the team is talk to them the difference between rev share and profit share.
Yeah,
Because profit share
Huge
is a
difference.
movable number, yeah. And if, like the office that I just helped open, they're not gonna see profit for years. And so it was a great promise that saw no return. Just FYI, if that helps.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
The second you play with a statement, the owner has the right to do anything with the statement that he or she wants. And profit is a figment of one's imagination, and it can be as big or as small as they want it to be. And not to say that there's some unscrupulous people out there, but there's some unscrupulous people out there.
Amen.
Did I say that out loud? I meant to.
Yeah, that was your outside voice, but I love
No,
it.
we just read your mind.
Yeah. All right,
Actually, I think I met one or two.
Oh, man. Well, we're glad you're
Hey,
back.
it's a great education. I wouldn't change it for the world, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah.
But it made EXP's value so much bigger in my world that I'm not going anywhere ever again. That's never gonna happen.
And if you really think about it, let's be honest, EXP really got it's shown through all of the other agencies out there and brokerages out there because of COVID and because we are a non-brick and mortar building, we don't have that overhead.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at KW as the pandemic came on, and I was in the I can't even remember what the dealio was, but we'd be talking about the profitability of the agency or the brokerage, and it was just like profit share is going to take a dip for everybody. And right after that, I left and came to EXP. So I don't know. I got the call from someone.
Hey, it's top line versus bottom line. It's a pretty easy comparison to draw,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
without the unscrupulous part.
Right.
Yep.
Hey, Rick, dude, I don't tell you, if I don't tell you enough, I appreciate you and Casey so much. And like I told you, I'm always I am probably the best person to coach because I implement immediately and I turn those 2 calls into life-changing opportunities. So I appreciate you guys. I gotta run.
Dude, yeah, go ahead and run, and thank you for your contribution back to everybody. See you soon. All
Take
right.
care.
If nobody has anything else, Kelly, I'll reach out to you in a little while. I got to make another call real quick after this. So if you guys need anything, let me know. Okay. I'm here to help.
Thank-
Thanks, everybody. Nice to meet you all.
Bye, everybody. See you guys soon.